Welcome to the Curious Platypus. I'm Michael Edward, and today's piece is titled The Drone of Madness. The lighter's flame illuminates Paul's room as he begins lighting the scented candles that sit around his $10 Buddha statue. Paul is preparing his room for his Sunday afternoon meditation. Paul has never been the meditating type, but over the last few years, one too many people have told him that he thinks too much. His friends have said that he goes over every little detail with a fine-tooth comb, that he overanalyzes, meticulously scrutinizes, and feverishly questions anything and everything to the point of madness. And apparently, it's annoying. In response to this feedback, Paul thought he would try meditating, although Paul is the first to question whether what he does when he's sitting there quietly is actually meditating. How would anyone ever really know for sure, he wonders. Either way, he likes to say that he meditates. Beyond making him sound cool, he also believes it will help him reassure his friends that he is working on his annoying tendencies. But there's just one problem. Paul has an old fridge. Paul's fridge cycles between silence and then, suddenly, whenever the motor starts up, the thing roars. And it's not just loud, it's also monotonous. When it gets going, it drones on with the same mind-numbing intensity as an unwelcome jackhammer on a Saturday morning. In fact, the reverberations of this wicked white good can be so unbearable that when it finally stops, everyone within earshot breathes a sigh of relief. Obviously, anyone in their right mind would simply get rid of this ear-splitting cold box. But not Paul. Paul's fucking nuts. Paul's friends have asked him why he doesn't just replace it. And beyond the fact that Paul's, let's call it, careful with his finances, he's been living with this fridge for so long now that for the most part, he's learnt to ignore its ungodly racket. However, during Paul's meditation sessions, this proves quite difficult. But don't just take my word for it. Instead, to get a better sense of how the sound of Paul's fridge disturbs him, let's take a journey into his mind and listen to Paul's madness for ourselves. Okay, forget about your thoughts, Paul thinks as he settles into a half-assed lotus position. Focus on your breath. 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. Paul's fridge starts up. Damn it. Stupid fucking fridge. Why does it have to start now? Alright, forget about it. It's just sound. Focus on your breath. Paul counts 6 seconds in and 6 seconds out as his fridge drones on. What is sound anyway? It's vibrations. So how can I be annoyed by sound when it's just vibrations? Aren't I vibrations as well? Don't the scientists say we're all just a collection of atoms vibrating together like some sort of atomic school of fish? And doesn't that mean that the vibrations in my head are annoyed by the vibrations in my kitchen? How can a set of vibrations even be annoyed? Or better yet, how does a set of vibrations have thoughts? Damn it! Alright, you're thinking too much. Focus on your breath. Paul counts 6 seconds in and 6 seconds out as his fridge continues to whir. I know it's just vibrations, but fuck, I wish they'd stop. I wonder where my resistance to this noise comes from. The noise of the fridge doesn't bother me at any other time of the day, but when I start meditating it does. Is it because I think that when I meditate it should be silent? Why do I think that? The world isn't silent. My thoughts aren't silent. Paul's fridge seems to raise another octave. And my fucking fridge sure isn't silent. So why do I torture myself by expecting all the sound to just stop because I've decided to try do this thing that is supposedly going to help me quieten my thoughts? Damn it! Alright, shut up. You're still thinking too much. Focus on your breath. Paul counts 6 seconds in and 6 seconds out as his fridge continues to hum. I know I shouldn't expect the world to be silent just for my meditation, but I wish I could just silence this damn fridge. Maybe I should unplug it, but last night's leftovers are in there. Suddenly, Paul's fridge stops. Oh, thank God for that. Alright, let's meditate. No more thinking. Stay connected to your breath. Paul counts 6 seconds in and 6 seconds out and maintains focus on his breath for at least 2 full cycles. And then, of course, the bastard starts up again. And I'm not talking about his fridge. I wonder if there's another reason the noise of the fridge bothers me. I don't think it's just because I want silence. Because I like other noises. I like the sound of music, and that's loud and goes on and on. So what's the difference? Why does this particular sound bother me and yet other sounds don't? I like the way music makes me feel, so why don't I like the way the fridge noise makes me feel? I can control the music, but I can't do that with the fridge. I can't control it. I can't stop it from making noise when I don't want it to. Unless I ruin my leftovers, of course. Well, actually, that's not true. It is completely within my control to buy a new fridge, which would put an end to that damn noise. But I'm too cheap for that. Whoa, wait a sec. Does that mean the reason the fridge bothers me so much is because it's a reminder of my cheapness? And because I don't want to be angry at myself for not replacing the fridge, I get annoyed at the sound it makes instead? Damn, that's confronting. Or maybe that's not it. Maybe everyone's right. Maybe I just think about things too much. Damn it. Alright, forget about it. Just focus on your breath. Paul starts to count 6 seconds in and 6 seconds out, but hardly stays with his breath for 1 full cycle before he gets back into it. But hang on. If that's the case, then that only raises more questions. Why don't I treat myself good enough to buy a new fridge? Am I using the fridge against myself as some sort of unconscious microaggression? Or maybe it goes the other way. Maybe I keep the fridge because its relentless droning helps me drown out these unrelenting questions. But wait a sec. If I'm thinking all these questions, then who am I asking? Better yet, who the fuck is listening? As if he has just understood some Buddhist koan, Paul's mind goes quiet. And then, Paul's fridge starts up again. Damn it! Stupid fucking fridge!